Luna, a good girl or a bad girl?
A good girl.
She's a good girl?
Yeah.
Do you love Luna?
Yeah. What's real?
Is Grandma a good boy or a bad boy?
A good boy.
You're just a dog lover, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Hey guys, it's Thursday, so it's time for another video. Today we want to take the time to discuss a Jack Russell Terrier with young children and kids. Alright guys, real quick before we jump into this video, for all of you that are new here, if you've liked some of the previous content or you're enjoying this content or finding it helpful, be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that notification button down below so you are notified when new videos come out each week. That is every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Central. And now let's go ahead and start diving into the video. So you're curious if a Jack Russell Terrier can be around your young kids or your children. All right guys, so here is the deal with Jack Russell Terriers being around your young kids, being around children, if they're good dogs or not. Yes, they are very good with children, but here's one important thing you definitely want to keep in mind is they still need that supervision. I wouldn't necessarily recommend having a Jack Russell Terrier interact with kids of certain ages. I would say like 7, 6, 5-year-olds, anything below that, they shouldn't be alone with them. And the main reason for that is they do tend to wind them up a little bit. Like my kid can act a little bit wild from time to time, and that can freak her out or just get her in kind of that playful, almost nippy kind of mood. She never bites aggressively, but he's kind of a wrestler. He's used to the big yellow lab that we have, being able to manhandle the dog however he chooses. So leaving a Jack Russell Terrier alone with a kid, not the best idea. You'd want to be in the same room, not have them around each other with no supervision for long periods of time. But overall, it's perfectly fine to let a Jack Russell Terrier be around kids. I don't know where the previous hype was stemmed from with Jack's not being good with kids, but it's false. She does awesome with him, he does awesome with her, but I still highly recommend supervision. All right guys, stemming back into the previous reason that I was just discussing about supervision being important whenever you have a Jack Russell out with your kids is that irritation factor. And that's kind of tip number 2 that I want to get into here is your kid is more than likely going to irritate your Jack Russell before your Jack Russell irritates your kid. I've seen her give him a long leash of tolerance before she'll get mad or show any kind of frustration, but it does happen. So I want everybody to realize that while they're small, adorable, awesome dogs, they're like any pet. They have a pushing point. Even my yellow lab has that point. My kid used to pull his tail and just really get on his nerves, and he can act like that sometimes with her too. So when it comes to the supervision, it's not just being around, but making sure that you're instructing your kid on how to behave with them in a calm manner. I'm doing a horrible job of that right now. But you want to make sure that they're kind of learning what is okay and what's not when they're hanging out with the Jack Russells, especially in the beginning during that socialization period. Okay guys, another tip I have for you if you're gonna have your Jack Russell out with your kids is nipping and nail control. The nails is always a complete accident with these dogs. If they're a little bit too long, if they're a little pointy, if they're a little sharp, but keep them trimmed, whether you're actually trimming them yourself or allowing them to get filed down naturally, like going on walks on cement or frequent exercise on cement where their nails kind of naturally file themselves down. Make sure that you're doing something to control the nails because these dogs do jump. In fact, across the top of the screen here, I'll have a related video, 1 on how to trim these guys' nails, 2 on the jumping. But if you don't control the nails and they're just always long, pointy, and sharp when they jump, especially on these little, like they're playing right now here, it can scuff the skin a little bit or make your kid upset if they happen to get them with those nails. So pay attention to that. And then the nipping is something to be aware of, especially when these guys are young. She's over 2 years old now, so it's gotten a lot better. He's antagonizing her right now, so that's causing a little bit more of the nipping. But these guys do nip when they're young. I think he's winning this battle. So be leery of that as well around young kids. They do not bite in an aggressive way, but they do like to use their mouth. So they nip, they chew. It's what they do. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't cause pain. You're not going to be having to get your kid any stitches or anything crazy like that, but be leery of that. Control it. Try and replace that behavior when you can, unless of course it is friendly playing like this. Then that is perfectly fine. But again, just beware of it. Guys, my next tip is going to be to also teach your kids as much as you can about being around these dogs, being around dogs in general, how to play, how to, this looks like a terrible example again, but it's not, they play. But how to play in a manner that is suitable for the household. If you have a more motion-filled household, then let them play in the manner that I'm letting my kid play with Luna here. If you want them to be just the calmest dog on the planet, then you can't have those moments where they're getting riled up all the time, because they get used to that and then they think it's okay. So set boundaries, make sure your kids are in line with the way you want your dog to act and that they interact with them in that manner, and things will go a lot smoother for you. Do you need something, Luna? Do you need something? You've already ate, so I can't imagine that you need anything important.
What
Do you need to poop? What about you, Roan? Do you need to poop? Okay, guys, here's a trick that I'm sure you had no idea was coming at some point in this video, but it is important.
Mama.
Use treats. Reward your dog when they're good, especially around the kids. Let them know that they're doing good. Let them know that they're acting in a calm manner. These dogs are extremely intelligent. They pick up on what you want quickly, and they want to give you that as much as possible. They want to please you. They want to learn. They want to exercise. They just want to be moving around as much as they can. So let's say that you get your Jack Russell Terrier home. They're playing with the kids, and it's not going the greatest in the beginning. They're jumpy. The nails are getting on them. They're a little nippy. When you say no and tell your dog to stop doing something that you don't want them to do, and then they do a good job listening to you, reward them. Make sure that they know that. Otherwise, it's just a moment that'll pass and they'll forget about it. So when you're teaching them to play with the kids and they do it in the fashion that you want, give them a treat. Make sure they know which action.
Come on.
Give them a treat. Make sure they know which action they did that you liked and that you want to see more of, and continue to train them to do those things around your kids that you prefer to see. And now comes the part of the video where we discuss what we discuss in almost every video on this channel, which is exercise. Whether you have 5 little kids in the house, 1 young kid in the house, you need to be giving these dogs exercise as much as possible. Everything that takes place during a day after any kind of exercise, any kind of training, really any kind of long interaction or even short interaction that you give these dogs, the better the rest of your day and the rest of your life while owning this dog is going to be. The more tuckered out they are, the better. The better behaved they are, the more attentive they can be to training, just the better they act as a whole. So if you're gonna adopt one of these guys, or you just did, and you have young kids and you're scared about those interactions with each other, make sure that part of your day, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, involves exercise of some sort. My kid is literally chasing the dog around with a Nerf gun right now. This might be too violent to be showing on this channel. All right, guys, this tip is critical for Jack Russells being around young kids and children. It needs to begin on day 1 when you get home. The socialization process needs to start immediately. Let them interact with the kids right away. Get them out, get them around the kids. Do as much as you can with them every single day when they're that young puppy. They need to get accustomed to them for them to understand they're in the house with them and for them to adapt to the environment knowing that they're around. That is going to make everything so much better. Luna and Rowan were introduced to each other when Rowan was just a little more than 2 years old. We actually got her and then put her in like a gift box with a bow on it for him to open up. So the first thing she saw whenever she came into our home was Rowan's face. He's the one that took her out of the box and got to be excited about her being here. I'm not saying you need to do that. I'm just saying that that needs to be part of your plan, is for them to be around each other immediately. Do not try and segregate them in any way in the house or split them up to where they're thinking that they're not a part of the family. The sooner they realize they are, the easier it's gonna be having a Jack Russell Terrier around your kids. All right, guys, as always, this wraps up another week here. This is Thursday's video. We'll have another video next Tuesday, as always, and next Thursday. Luna, Rowan, and I appreciate you coming by the channel. We appreciate all the subscribers that we have, and we hope to keep making great content for you. Thanks again for coming by. Be sure that if this helped you in some way to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button down below. Be sure to visit terrierowner.com for more information, and any related readings will be in the description below. I will link to them. Thanks again, and we'll see you next Tuesday at 8 a.m. Do you love Luna?
Oh no, yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Luna, do you love Rowan? Yes or no? Say yes, I love him. Yes.